All right, let's talk about a huge shift happening right under our noses in the digital world. It's called edge computing. We're moving away from this idea that everything has to be sent to some giant, far off brain in the cloud, and instead, we're building a new world where intelligence is everywhere.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we need to understand the problem, this absolute tsunami of data that's pushing the cloud to its breaking point. Then we'll see how the edge isn't a replacement for the cloud, but a partner. After that, we'll look at the incredible split-second decisions this makes possible. And of course, we've got to talk about the hurdles before we look ahead to the really exciting future of it all. Okay, first things first, let's set the stage. For the last 20 years, we've built our entire digital world on one idea: send everything to the cloud. But the world is creating data at a pace that is seriously starting to challenge that entire model.
I mean, we're not just talking about phones and laptops anymore. We're talking about billions, with a B, of connected devices, the Internet of Things. These things are basically the sensory organs of our physical world. They're constantly watching, listening, and measuring everything around us. And you know what all those sensors do? They create a torrent of data, just an unbelievable flood of information. And trying to send every last bit of it on a long trip to a centralized cloud and back again, well, it's just becoming impractical. It's too slow, it's too expensive, and sometimes it's just plain dangerous. We're literally running up against the speed of light. So what's the fix? Well, it's not about ditching the cloud, not at all. It's about evolving our digital architecture with something called edge computing. It's about creating a new, much more balanced model. At its heart, the idea is actually super simple. Instead of sending data hundreds or thousands of miles away to be processed, you process it locally, right there at the edge of the network, right where the data is born. It's kind of like giving all our devices their own little local brains. Now, this is the really crucial point. This is not some kind of battle, edge versus cloud. It doesn't replace the cloud. What it does is create this amazing partnership, a continuum, where each side gets to play to its own unique strengths. And this table here really lays out that division of labor perfectly. The edge is all about one thing: speed. It handles those immediate real-time tasks with almost zero delay, even if the internet connection drops. It's perfect for what's called AI inference. That's using an already trained AI to make a snap decision. The cloud, on the other hand, it's the powerhouse. It handles the heavy lifting, like training those massive, complex AI models in the first place. And this is where it gets really cool. Together, they create this brilliant feedback loop. The edge devices are on the front lines, acting fast, filtering out all the junk, and sending only the important stuff up to the cloud. The cloud then takes all that high-quality data from everywhere, learns from it, builds an even smarter AI model, and then pushes that new and improved intelligence right back down to the edge. So the edge acts, the cloud learns, and the whole system just keeps getting smarter and smarter. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But where does the rubber actually meet the road? Let's look at 3 areas where making decisions in a fraction of a second isn't just nice to have, it's absolutely critical. First up, self-driving cars. Think about a car moving at 70 miles an hour. Waiting for a signal to go all the way to a data center and back? That's a complete non-starter. A life-or-death decision, like slamming on the brakes to avoid a kid who ran into the road, has to happen in single-digit milliseconds. That's a speed that's only possible with a ton of processing power right there, inside the vehicle itself. So the car's onboard edge computer becomes its brain. It's doing something called sensor fusion in real time. It's just like how your brain instantly combines what you see and hear to make sense of the world. The car does the same thing, instantly merging data from its LiDAR for 3D mapping, its cameras for reading road signs, and its radar for tracking other cars in the rain. It fuses all of that together into one complete picture so it can react instantly. All right, next up, healthcare. This is a big one. Edge computing is helping to shift the entire model of patient care from being reactive, waiting for someone to get sick, to being proactive and even predictive. So imagine your smartwatch having an AI on board that analyzes your heart rhythm and alerts your doctor to a problem before you even feel a thing. Or think about an MRI machine in a hospital using Edge AI to scan an image and immediately flag a life-threatening issue for the radiologist. We're talking minutes instead of hours. And on top of all that, keeping sensitive patient data right there on the device is a massive, massive win for privacy. And finally, let's talk about smart cities. Edge AI is basically giving our cities a central nervous system. It's making our everyday infrastructure smart enough to react to what's happening in the real world, right now. What does that actually mean? It means traffic lights that adapt to the real flow of cars instead of just running on a dumb timer. It means a security camera that can detect a car accident the second it happens and automatically call for help. And because it can process all that video right there on the camera, it can do all of this amazing stuff while protecting people's privacy by not sending raw footage to the cloud.
Now, it's not all sunshine and roses. Deploying this stuff at a massive scale isn't as easy as flipping a switch. You see, moving from a neat and tidy centralized model to a messy, distributed world introduces a whole new host of really complex challenges that we have to figure out. Security is the perfect example. It's a total double-edged sword. On the one hand, yeah, keeping sensitive data local is fantastic for privacy. But on the other hand, you now have thousands, maybe millions of new little computers out there in the world, and every single one of them is a new potential door for an attacker to try and break in. And beyond security, you've got this massive operational headache. I mean, how do you manage a giant fleet of devices? How do you push a critical security update to a sensor on a wind turbine in the middle of nowhere with a spotty connection? And you have to deal with the real world, limited battery life, hardware that can just fail, and all the physical constraints that come with it. So yeah, the challenges are very real. But, and this is the exciting part, they're being met head-on by this powerful convergence of technologies that are all hitting at the same time and just accelerating this whole revolution. Let's take a look at what the future holds. First, you've got the global rollout of 5G, which is basically the perfect network for the edge, super fast with almost no lag. At the same time, we're seeing these incredible new AI chips that are both powerful and super energy efficient. And on top of all that, there are brand new ways of training AI that completely change the game. Federated learning especially is a total game changer. It flips the old model completely on its head. Instead of you sending all your private data to the cloud for an AI to learn from, the AI model itself is sent down to your device. It learns locally using your data, which, and this is key, never leaves your phone. Then only the tiny mathematical improvements are sent back to make the main model better for everyone. It's privacy built in from the ground up. Look, we are right at the dawn of a new kind of digital infrastructure, this hybrid world that blends the raw power of the cloud with the lightning-fast reflexes of the edge. This whole shift, it's not just some technical upgrade. We're creating a world that's more aware, more responsive, and more autonomous than ever before. And as this intelligent world around us really does start to think for itself, it leaves us with one last and pretty crucial question: who's going to write the rules?